Hi, welcome back to the Gathering Academy. If you are listening on a podcast and can't see what we're going to be talking about, I would highly recommend that you go to YouTube and you join us there where you can actually see what we're going to demonstrate. And I would also love to give you an invite to participate in Roots Tech. Roots Tech is coming up in just a couple of weeks. The first week in March 3rd, I believe. I should know this. All the days just kind of roll into each other. But it is March 4th through the 7th. So you can join us online, virtually, or you can come in person to Salt Lake City. It's held in the Salt Palace. And we are going to be doing a gathering of the gatherers on Friday night, and Tia will be posting a QR code if you'd like to join in person and just come have some time to visit and maybe a little Q&A. We would love to see you there. So today we're going to have just a short little, we're just going to cover just a little bit where you can dip your toes into the trees on MyHeritage and Ancestry. So many times people get stuck in one way of searching or in one website. And if you've got your free membership account, you can access the MyHeritage for free. You can access Ancestry for free. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'm going to just do a quick review. Let me share screen. Allow to share the screen. All right, good. We know that we are sharing screen. So I'm going to go to this, the main page of FamilySearch. And if you go to the main page of FamilySearch, down at the bottom, you've got an option for right here. Let's see, where did it go? Oh, they've changed their view. How dare they? Let's see. So it used to be down here on this bottom bar, and it should be partner. See if you see it before I do. There we go. So this little more button, this is a new thing that has been happening. And if it annoys you, all you have to do is click less and it hides it. So it's under Solutions Gallery. So you'll click on the Solutions Gallery, and right here is where you can have access to your free accounts. So you'll be able to get those. So once you have those, you have the option, and when you started it, your MyHeritage or your Ancestry, it gave you the option to import 4 generations of your tree. So we're going to, and if you haven't, I will show you how you can do that. Let me go first to MyHeritage. So this is one view that you can see in MyHeritage of your tree. So when you go into MyHeritage, it'll take you to your website. And you'll see in here, it says, it should say in partnership with FamilySearch. If you've got the free site, it will say that. And then it's under Family Tree, and you're going to go to My Family Tree. So I've got my grandma here for our example in the center, and I've chosen the fan view, which is over here on the right. Just like you can do in FamilySearch, you can change the views. So here's her pedigree view. And then this one is basically the descendancy. This one's a little bit trickier to navigate. You can do it full screen. I'm going to go back to the pedigree view. What's really nice is it gives you some options. When you're looking at this, you'll be able to see who you brought in and who you didn't. So here I can see Andrew Pierce. Maybe I don't even have parents for him. I really haven't worked on that line, but I can see that there's a missing father and a missing mother. I also see these little brown circles, very similar to what we see in FamilySearch, where there's record matches. So I'm going to go to, I know there were some for Lyman Garland. I was looking at him a bit ago. Let's see if I went here. Actually, we'll go here. So if I click on that little brown, it comes up with record matches. So it pulls these up, an 1880 federal census. Here's a headstone, and I can review the match, and then I have the ability to attach it if I don't have it in this tree. Now, you may be really limited on time, and you're like, I can't manage all of these different trees. One of the reasons I would say come and look at this is because you may find records here on MyHeritage that you would not have found on FamilySearch. So it's worth coming in, and then while you're there, I recommend you attach it because it makes a more solid tree, especially if somebody else is accessing or viewing your tree. So when I clicked on that, I can see over here on the left, it talks about Lyman and the information that I have. And then, I'll, over here in the 1880 census, I can see details. He's single, he's a laborer, his father is Lyman S. Wood, mother's birthplace. So we're getting all of that, plus we have the ability to view the image. Now, I just want to do a reminder. If you are like, I would love to have this image, just remember that for copyright reasons that we don't post images from paid sites onto FamilySearch. And that includes obituaries. We talked about that before. Those are the copyright of the newspaper. Even if you were the one that submitted it to the newspaper, you wrote it yourself. If you have an image of it, it would be violating copyright to put it on FamilySearch. So that's just a little PSA, but you do have the ability to download it for your own private use, to put it in your Roots Magic file. If you wanted to create a little presentation for your family. So if you click on that little up in the, let me go back. Oops, here we are. Let's go back down. If you click on this little square in the top left right corner, it will show you the view of what's been indexed over here on the left and what's in the record. So you have the ability in this top right corner to either print it or you can download. If you click the little download button, it brings it up here, and then you have the ability to save the image to download. So I just clicked on this with my Mac. I used 2 fingers and I saved the image to downloads. If you're with a mouse, you can just right click and save image to downloads. And you can also do Command P or to print, or you can do Control P, and that will also allow you to print that image. So I always recommend you compare what's in the left that's been indexed, because it's not always correct, with what's in the right. And you can use the little plus and minus buttons, and they're a little sensitive, and then you just can drag it around to take a look at that. So when we go back to, let's actually do the back button here. We're going to do the back arrow. So we're here, and I'm going to say, once I say, yes, this is my guy, I'm going to say confirm match. That is basically what you would do in FamilySearch when you're bringing those 2 records basically together into your tree. So here I've got him in my tree, and here's the 1880 census. And then it shows me what I don't have. So I don't have that he was living in Springville in 1880. So I can click on this little arrow, takes it into my tree. And he's a laborer. So when I scrolled down, I saw there were a whole bunch of people in here. So I can go through and compare, which I've already compared and looked at it. And so it all matches. We've got a little bit more information. Like here's Hannah Electa. This one says Hannah E, but this was the census. So they only had a limited space. So I can go all the way to the bottom, and I can just say extract all info. So that means it brought all of that over. See how this is now all over here? So then I can compare, make sure I like it all. And once I've confirmed that, I'm going to say save to tree. So do you see how easy it is for the computer to do some searching for you? So this is another way to basically use record hints on MyHeritage. You will also see back on the tree, there is a little green circle. So these are smart matches. And this is one of the benefits that you get from a MyHeritage account is the smart matches. And you can click on that. And these smart matches will bring up information from what somebody else with this Jarko website that he's put information on there. So it gives me more information. Somebody else has done some research, and it's going to help me out. So that's another way that you can actually connect with relatives, because if they've got your relative in the tree, there's a chance that they may be closely related, and you can collaborate, you can connect with each other. So that's another really great thing about this family tree. All right, I'm going to tell you a few things that are great about having your free MyHeritage account. So the first thing is you get the free complete account minus newspapers. So if you wanted to have the newspapers, then it's an additional fee. It would be, see this Go Omni right here? That it unlocks a lot. It's the newspapers and old news. It's unlimited photo scanning with their multi-photo scanner, 2,000 webinars on legacy family tree webinars, and an all-pro features on Genie. So if it's worth it to you, $36 a month, I think that's a little hefty, but it may help you break through. And so it says it's billed annually. So maybe you are stuck in the annual subscription. I haven't done it, but that's just my little PSA for you if that's something that is of interest to you. The other thing that's great is you have an unlimited tree size. So the free version that's available to the general public. So if they've done a DNA test and they put their tree on there, it's capped at 250 people. You also have full record access, so all of the records, and it's really heavy on European records. So if you're doing European research, I've talked about this before, MyHeritage is your go-to place. The other great thing is you have the ability to do your tree import from FamilySearch, and then you're able to connect, like we just showed, your information to your tree. You can also connect it with your FamilySearch tree. So I was going to show you a really cool feature, but it's not working right now. But there is a really cool feature where you can go into the record. So I will show you where it should be. And here we go. You should be able to go to, in any of these records, to a tree, to a census. So here's a Norwegian census. I can click on the view record button. And once I go into it, if you've come in from your FamilySearch account and then you signed into MyHeritage, it should be synced. And then you should have the option down here at the bottom. There should be attach this source to FamilySearch. It's not available right now. It was last week. I've tried troubleshooting. I've used Gemini to ask questions, and I'm not figuring it out. Their help center, when I went to it this morning, basically just has a lot of frequently asked questions. I did not see a phone number. I didn't do really in depth. So maybe there is a phone number that I can call, and I'm going to do some more researching because I really would love to show you that. But it does have the ability to sync. They're constantly improving. Another thing that it has is the ability for the photo editing. Now, some of you love it, some of you hate it, but you do have the ability to upload photos, and you can do this live memory, deep nostalgia. You can enhance your photos, which is really great. So let's go to this enhance photos, and you can see how this was the before and this was the after. So that's a really cool feature that's just kind of hiding there. See how much more crisp and clear this is right here. So the photos is another really great thing. And then it also helps you to be able to, let's go back here to the tree. It says, I have not tried this yet, but it says that it helps you identify ancestors who may need temple ordinances. So, and I think maybe it just is basically saying it helps you find new people and then you can check on FamilySearch. Whereas, let's pop over to Ancestry. So on Ancestry, your tree, I'm going to duplicate this page. On Ancestry, here when we're at home, you will see this trees button right here. If I click on trees, I can go to my Anderson family tree that I created. So when I'm in here, I can click on a person and I can go to their page. Do you see this you should see, if you're connected to your LDS account, you should see this little tree up in the corner right here. That means you are connected. So you may not see it if it's been a while since you signed into your FamilySearch account. You have to do that every so often, and I will show you how. So what'll happen is when you go to the person page, you can see right here, there's this little circle, FamilySearch circle. When you click on it, it will say FamilySearch authorization is expired. Please sign in to renew it. So once I do that, so I'm going to click on Anders Persson and I'll show you where that's at. Up here in the top, it would just be a little circle. I've already signed in, but you would just see the little circle with the tree. You click on it and you'll get this message and you'll just sign into your FamilySearch account. Then those two are synced and connected. So this has a little bit better features as far as being able to see what ordinances are available or not. So let's go to Anders Persson. If I click on this, I can see ordinances and details are complete. And because they are connected with FamilySearch, if I click on this, it will take me directly back to FamilySearch and I can see his ordinances and when they were done. So it's really nice when you're working within this tree. You can also compare the person on FamilySearch. I can add relatives from FamilySearch. So you see, when I originally did the 4 generations, he's my 3rd great grandfather, so he's the 4th generation. It did not automatically bring in Per and Anna. So I can just click on add relatives from FamilySearch and I can say, I want to add an immediate family member, and then I can click who I want to add, but I can only do one at a time, or I can add 4 generations for this person. So I'm going to do that because I know that he's the end of line on this one. So it says this option is available only for end of line. And so then I say continue. And then now it's doing its thinking. It's adding that. So while it's doing that, I am also going to show you when you're in Ancestry. So here's the little, this is signed into FamilySearch. This is what you would see if you haven't signed in recently. And if you want to know, so we'll go to that in a second, but if you want to know if you have the free account or not, or are you still on your paid account, click over here under account settings, and you're going to scroll down, and it should say right here, membership, Church of Jesus Christ Ancestry membership. So if it does not, and then you need to go back to what we talked about in the beginning and go to the solutions gallery and get your free account. If you've had a paid account and now you have the free account and you're not sure if you're going to still be getting charged, you can look up the 800 number. Just do a Google search for the 800 number for Ancestry and give them a call to verify that. All right, let's go back in here and see. Let's close this one out. Not sure where that went. It was doing its syncing. So it's somewhere in here. So while it's doing that thing, oh, there it is. It did it. So now look at this. I didn't even have to type this. There's Per Manson or Monson and Anna Tuva's daughter. So if I were to look at his tree, and I can click on view in tree right here. Look at this. I went from Anders Persson, and we were kind of at a dead end, or maybe it was Per. Now look how many generations I go back because these were in my FamilySearch tree. So what's great about it is now I have another resource, another tool in my box to be able to access. I can click on this little green, and it will pull this up, and I can see he's connected with FamilySearch. So Niels, I can go to him, and that little green leaf means it has some hints. So I can click on those hints, and you can see, we go back for a second. You can see I don't have any sources attached. I have nothing in my gallery. This is where you can put pictures, images, just make sure you're doing copyright free. And that's where you'll add the media. But I'm going to go back to facts and just kind of look at his family a little bit. I've got a burial, a death. So I've got some pretty good information on him. I just don't have proof. And so I can go to the hints, and I can see if there are any original sources that I would want to add. Oh, here's a Sweden baptism. So I could attach that. So I would click review, and I look at the information. It doesn't look like they have an actual image. And then if I want to, I can save it. So in the interest of time, my challenge to you is to get on into practice. So get on to MyHeritage, see if you have a tree, and then upload it, because you're going to get other record hints from MyHeritage that you wouldn't get on FamilySearch. Same with Ancestry. There's different user groups for different places. Not everybody has a FamilySearch account. I do want to show you one more really fun find before we go. So if I go here to FamilySearch to the main page, we talked about this AI research assistant a few times ago. So it used to be that you would have to go down here to the labs and opt into it. Well, now for all English-speaking countries, it's available. It just will automatically pop up on your front page, and you may have already noticed that. So if you're teaching anybody, no, you don't have to turn it on now, that it will automatically be there. Just also know sometimes these hints are not correct. I've had some in the last few weeks, it's pulling up these matches, and I'm like, this is not correct, but it's because it's AI. AI is not perfect. So let's not intrinsically just say, yeah, it's right. We need to use our reasoning to be able to determine that. So I did the AI research hints a few weeks ago. I told you that's one of my goals, is to try and touch it daily if I can and attach just one record. And generally you will be able to add a new person. So I did that, and I ended up, I'm going to go to my recents, and I will show you recently viewed people, and his name is Harold Hansen. So Harold, he came up in the tree, and I attached the source, and then I came into him and I thought, let's take a look at this. So I noticed that his wife is Agnes Ingeborg Wickman or Wickman. And what I love about it is that she has a very distinct name, which is going to help me in finding more information about her and her family. I also noticed that their daughter is Edith Adele Hansen Selbo. Why does she have an extra name on the back? If you've been with us before, I talked about the Norwegian farm names. So often they would take a farm name while they were living at the farm because there were a lot of Ole Olsons. So he could be so maybe there were a lot of Harold Hansens as well. But it was just a way to identify this is who we're talking about. They live on this farm. And the farms are really, really important. Well, we talked about last week in the 1900s that they had the option of being able to keep that name, the farm name or their patronymic name, but they had to decide. And so this Selbo was on here and I thought, interesting. I wonder if anybody else, if that really was the farm, is there anybody else in the family that has that name? So if I clicked on sources and I scroll down, I see there's a Harold Selbo. Here's also Harold Hansen. So in 1900, he's going by Hansen. By 1911, he's going by Harold Selbo. So I would look at each of these records, see what I could figure out. What's also really cool to notice is over here on the side who created it. So Thor, he added this record here. I could click on him and he's my sixth cousin. So that's really fun. If I'm going to Norway, I could chat and send him a message and potentially meet him. Or we can collaborate on this family. What else do you know about them? Do you have any photos? So it just depends on how recently they've been on FamilySearch. If you look down here, this is one of my little usernames. And so it shows these are the ones that I added. So it looks like on the 10th I added, this may have been when I added the research hint. And then I came back and added another one. And that may have been just on his details page up here in this research help. That may have come up there. I'm not sure where. So I was really curious. So I'm going to just go really touch on, we're going to do more on newspapers at a future podcast. But if you've got Norwegian family or anywhere else in the world, I hope this will give you some ideas of what the possibilities are. Many of you have heard of newspapers.com, Genealogy Bank. We know MyHeritage has Old News. We also have Newspaper Archive. Also, the National Archives and the Library of Congress, they've got access to newspapers. Another really cool fact is that a lot of states have free websites with newspapers, historic newspapers. So those are all really important to know. Well, did you know that you can access Norwegian newspapers from the United States or another country through their digital access option? So I'm going to take you here. So I just want to show you, we'll talk a little bit more how to get to this point. So this was a search. I looked for Harold Selbo because I thought, let's just see if he was going by Harold Selbo for the rest of his life, not just in 1911, 12. And up came this little death notice. So you can see here's a death notice. There's a lot of death notices. And they usually start with something like our beloved brother. Well, watch this, if I do Command-Shift-4 on a Mac or you use the little snipping tool on your computer, I can copy that. And then I will go to Gemini and let's see, we'll do a new chat and I'm going to do plus and I'm going to upload the file. It'll be under my recents and there's the screenshot. And so I will say, please translate this obituary from Norway. I tried it with less words last night and it did a great job. So it's very simple. So I'm just going to do the fast version. And let's see, it's, how long is this taking for this? Look how fast that was. It's like 5 seconds. So it's says it's a death notice from Martin Selbo and to inform his relatives back home of his passing in the United States. So if you hadn't even looked at that and noticed that, which you probably did, it comes in here and it gives us a transcription and then it gave us a translation. So it didn't do it quite. It's basically our dearly beloved brother, Martin Hansen Selbo. It did a better job last night. That was in the fast. So if we did it in, and this is the paid Gemini that I'm using. If I do it in the thinking, it's a lot better. But it tells me that he died in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he's got these siblings because down here it says siblings. So all of these. So Anna, Harold, and notice the Selbo, Andrea. And so I'm thinking these are the maiden names. There's Gustav, and he's going by Selbo. There's Martha, so a married name. Thora, so Tora, she may not be married, but she's going by Selbo. And then a foster sister, all from this newspaper. Does that not blow your mind? It blows my mind. It makes me so excited. So then I'm like, okay, well, let's make sure this is really my guy. So are there siblings, Andrea, Gustav, and Martha? So if I go here to Harold, Andrea, Gustav, and Martha. Yes, I'm so excited. So then what I do is I'm like, okay, well, I saw there were some maiden names in there. Let's go back to that. So we have Anna. She's a Fieldheim. So let's go back and look at that. So where's Anna? Here's Anna. And it says she has a spouse. So great. Let's see if we've got him. Is he a Mr. Fieldheim? He's a Svensson. Huh. And there's no Fieldheim. So now I've got something that I can go and research. I can put in a spouse. I can just add spouse and put Fieldheim. And then I can go and see if I can find him. I also have that other sister, Andrea. She has no spouse. So now I've got this last name of Fjeldseth. So I can go through each of these siblings and see if I can find the information. Now, if I don't really know what to do, I can at least take this transcription and I can put the information into FamilySearch under memories. And so I can do it under memories and then I can link it to each of the people. If you've never done that, post that in the chat that we need to cover that in a future session. But you can see from one little record, one little newspaper obituary, I'm getting information. And so you can see, let's go to Martin. Here's Martin Hansen. Oh my goodness, look, I don't even have that he died in Milwaukee. So now I have the ability, once I go into him and I put the death in Milwaukee, let's do this really quickly. So he died 11th of September, 1952 in Milwaukee. So I want to put that in because that's going to, what was that date? 11th of September. 11 September 1952, correct? Yes, in Milwaukee. And it's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There we go. All right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy. Let me just do the URL right now. If we do another one, if somebody says, please do more on these Norwegian newspapers, we'll come in and I'll show you some other ways you can copy it's kind of hard to see right now, copy the citation. But for our intents and purposes right here, I'm just going to put that URL there. I can go in and I can do another source and I can add the source and I can put it right here. I'll just do it really fast. You can see how fast it is to create a source, a very basic source. So Martin Hansen, death notice in Norway. And the date was 7th of October, 1952. 7 October, 1952. And then I'm going to say this gives us his name, his death, and I don't know anything. I don't know where he was buried. So save, boom. So 45 seconds or so, we got that. And granted, yes, I am faster because I do this all the time, but you will get faster as you practice, just like on the piano. I'm going to pound that into you. So we've got Martin Hansen. Now that we have that he died in Milwaukee, if we click on Ancestry, and it's going to go into, and you see here, it says you can sign up for a free subscription site too. So that's another way. If you're having trouble remembering, you can click on this. If you don't have it, any of these, it will allow you to go directly into sign up for the site. So I'm going to click on Ancestry, say okay. And in just a second, all of a sudden, here we get somebody's tree. Here's a World War draft. And here's the birth date, 22 September, 1881. So if I go back to the tree, 22 September, 1881, boom. I found my guy. So I can go to this draft registration. Let's see if he's married, if he's single. It says next of kin is Francis Honish. So I'm not sure who Francis is. And let's see if it says, it just says restaurant. Let's see if he's single. He's 60 years old. Gives Lear, Norway. Let's see if there's anything on the next page. Just gives us a little bit of information. He's got gray hair, 5'8", 160. So I can go back in, and we don't have a spouse here. If I go back, where to my little, where are we at? Here we go. Okay, let's go back. So we get a little bit of information. We have his address. Remember, pull everything out and put it into your tree. So I don't know who this Francis Honish is. We could see, I guess we could see if he has a sister Francis. No Francis. So maybe he never married. So then what I would do is I would go, if I can find it again, I would go through here and look at all of these records for him. Here's an immigration record that might be him. He's going as a Martin H. Martinson. So that makes me wonder, is this really my guy? So here's going by Hansen, but did you notice in here, he's saying Martin Hansen Selbo? They may have just put the Selbo in so people knew this is the farm where he came from. So with all of that, we're going to stop sharing. And my homework for you this week is to get into your trees and play around in My Heritage and Ancestry. And if you have any questions, then reach out and we can cover that in a future podcast. So just a reminder, sign up to come to our gathering on Friday, March 6th. And we would love to see you in person. Otherwise, join Roots Tech for all of the great classes that they have. And we'll see you next time.